some people need more than one person for their relationship to work, and it works for them. But I mean, other people, just one is enough. And I feel that if you do want to take on multiple wives, you got to be able to handle one before you can try to take on another.
Okay.
Because if you live in a ride, if you can't, if you got one wife and you out here cheating, do all this other stuff, I mean, what makes you think you can handle two wives? Because then you bringing in double the repercussions.
Okay.
No, I was going. I was about. I almost did. No, I was saying, but like you can't be faithful to one person. What makes you think you could be faithful to two?
Okay. TJ.
There's so many facets to that answer. I will say this.
Talking to your mic.
My lips are closed.
Bring it down to you.
All right, I would say this in America because it's such a financially based economy that it's almost impossible to take care of the needs of one person holistically. Okay, and we live in a society where people don't love themselves. And when you're dealing with, I'm just going to use this as an example, women that need a lot of attention because they're becoming narcissistic in their own ways. Men were narcissists before.
Y'all already narcissistic.
Men were narcissists before, and women are on the fast train with it. Because they need so much attention that the minute you don't. With self-love, you don't need that much attention. Yeah, I'm gonna say some controversial stuff, but no, seriously, it's with the social media age. No, I'm watching.
Validation.
They need so much validation and so much attention that it's almost impossible for one man, for them to be happy with one man doing that type of stuff. So you got to understand, if you have one man spread between 2 or 3 different women, there's going to be a whole lot of unhappiness going on.
It's already happening, though.
Right, but with today, with women understanding that they can have Joe do this, and they can have Tom do this, and then they can have Reggie do this, and then this person.
Y'all can have Keisha do that. And y'all can have,
you know what? It is harder for a man to do that than a woman to do that.
Y'all already
no,
do
we
that.
can have sex that much.
Laquana, no,
Yep.
and y'all still got women who. You got a woman that cooks for you. You got a woman that come over and clean your house. You got a woman that you can sit and chill and watch football with. You got a woman that you can cry on her shoulder with. Y'all got the same thing.
Who gonna come in and write that check?
I see
though?
it.
It's rare that you got them coming in writing that check, and then you know what
We
understand
don't
what I'm
coming
saying?
in write no check either. They ain't paying no bills.
I guarantee.
Then you talking to the wrong women.
I mean, I'm just saying, the women that you saying doing this, I'm more than likely the men ain't coming in paying no bills.
Those are the ones that are lacking a little bit less self-love, because a person who has a certain level of self-respect is not going to let somebody come in and do that stuff just because, it's there to be done. They'll be like, no, I'll pay for it. I'll take care of it. I'll pay Roto-Rooter instead of this man in here, leaning over talking about what we're going to do next after I get done with this sink. So, I understand that. But it's very many aspects to this situation, but I don't think a man, like he was saying, can actually deal with multiple wives in today's society. Now, this was 1826, and all he needed to do was make sure there was food on the table and the people had clothes and stuff like that. Yeah, there'd been a multiple wives situation, but not in today's.
Not in America.
No.
Because they make it work in other countries.
Yeah.
So I just know it's not for me. But maybe it's for other people. I don't know. But back in the day when people were had multiple wives, it seemed like it was more. If I recall, it's really more for like making sure you can produce heirs, and for survival, they had to be more of a clan or a village or a tribe. But I feel like it's just not necessary now. I feel like I saw a show called Sister Wives, and I watched that. I'm like, no black woman would do that.
Yeah. And the guy that's actually. He used to live here in Indy. I know him. Okay. But it happens. It does.
It does.
Nat.
Nope. Nope. But can a woman have multiple husbands?
I've heard.
There's some
there's some women out here.
There's some countries that the women have multiple husbands.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen.
So I guess I can say I couldn't have a multiple husband because I don't want them bringing all that extra baggage and stuff with it. I don't want no extra husbands. I don't want them bringing anything extra that they done have from anybody else in that relationship to be bringing it on with me. I don't want it. It's enough dealing with one man.
Yeah, I don't definitely believe in having multiple. I don't want to be sharing my. I mean, when we
share.
do it now, we do it unknowingly. Now we share our men with other women because, like I said,
and our women with other men.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, everybody's sharing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
Everybody's sharing.
I mean, no, yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
It really is sad. We don't value.
I'm not sharing.
I don't want to share.
Facebook. I'm not sharing.
I'm not sharing.
Anybody trying to share, but I'm saying in the dating world, we're sharing.
In the marriage
and
world,
in the marriage world, we are sharing too. Yeah, nobody really values that
Yeah.
commitment anymore.
Swinging and
Which
everything,
leads into my next question because we are almost out of time. So we go over a few minutes late. Are y'all okay with that? We run over a few minutes. Okay. So what are the benefits of marrying versus our last question is what are the benefits of marrying versus staying single? As we think about this from a perspective of is marriage a business contract or a spiritual covenant? What are the benefits of marrying versus staying single in that perspective? You smiling, Tori, so you got your answer.
The first thing that came to mind was taxes.
Okay.
Being single, you don't really get too many tax breaks, but when you get married, you're getting a couple extra dollars when tax season come around.
Okay. but you got a lot of couples that married.
Oh yeah.
That file separate. But single but separate, or so how's that work?
How that works?
Married, filing
but
separate,
or separate.
Marrying, filing separately.
Okay. So tax, anything else?
Family, like everybody wants to have that happiness that a family has, and to be able to pass down what you've learned through life to the next. And being single your whole life, you don't get many opportunities to be able to distill your information on to anyone else. Okay. A lot of people do it with their nephews and nieces, but the lucky few get to do it with their own family.
Okay. Ricky, what's the benefits of marrying versus staying single when we think about the context of a spiritual covenant or a business contract?
I think it varies for the individual because, marriage isn't a requirement. There's no obligation for nobody to get married. And you can have a great, enjoyable life as a single person, too. So it just varies depending on what you need, Some people need partnership. They need love. They need companionship. Some people don't. And that's okay, It's funny. We bought these gerbils for my kids, right? And they used to live together at the store, but we bought them separate. Like they were in the same cage, right? We had two that died, so we replaced them one at a time. So we didn't replace them at the same time. And so we bought them a week apart. And I'm thinking, they was cool at the store. I can just throw them in the cage together. I was like, WWF, Man, one bit the nose off the other one, the other one. So some people just can't be together. Right. And that's okay. And I got them now in separate cages. They cool. They love it. They can see each other.
They got used to that single life.
Right. They got used. And so my point is, you can be cool being single. Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's perfectly okay. It just depends on what you need for life and for your happiness.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of people now who don't want to get married.
Right.
There's a fact, I think, they say married people live longer. I think a study was done. But outside of that, do what you do. Okay. Be happy.
TJ, what are the benefits of being married versus staying single?
To each his own, like he just said. For my own self, I personally enjoy having one woman. I enjoyed it. Having someone that I can, it feels good taking care. It's just like your children. You don't want to take care of somebody else's kid, but you want to do everything you can for your own. So I enjoy having one woman. I enjoy that knowing that this is my foundation, that I can build something, someone I can trust, someone I can build with, and that was very important to me. And at the end of the day, to have some soft arms to wrap around me. You know what I mean? Because I am, one of my what's the 5 love languages? Mine is touch.
Yeah. Okay.
So I need.
I'm glad you know yours.
Juicy arms.
I don't discriminate. But no, I needed that. At the end of the day, when I got done, and being out here in the world, I needed that. So That's very important to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kiana.
I think for me, marriage made me a better person in a way that dating didn't. Because we moved in together when we got married, and so that was a journey to you really see yourself when your spouse. I don't even want to go there, but like that's the person that loves you the most. It's like a sleepover every night with your best friend. I can tell Demetrius anything, knowing that it's just us against the world. Even if our parents or our families or anything fell apart, I know that we have each other. It's also amazing to raise kids with my husband. I know there's some amazing single parents out there, but for me, it's just been beautiful, and I fall in love with him more seeing how he works with our boys, and he's teaching them to be good men. And so all of that stuff is good for me. As far as what was easier when I was single, like I could do what I want, come home when I want, that originally was kind of a struggle for me. I didn't get it. Even on our honeymoon, I woke up in the morning, went to go work out, went on my own little trip, and he was like really upset with me. He was like, I thought you were gone. It's my responsibility to keep up with you. I didn't get that at first because I was so used to doing my own thing. I'm much better about that now and understanding that's important to him. But that for me, that was the benefit of staying single. And also, I like paying one mortgage. I like putting our money together. I like my husband also kind of agrees with your paycheck is your paycheck. That's kind of nice too. But
right, I need a man like that. Yeah, my paycheck be mine. I can pay off these student loans in a heartbeat.
But for me, the benefits of marriage heavily outweigh, even more than I thought before getting married. Like I had no idea how much I'd enjoy being married. And not to be vulgar, but I like having a consistent sex partner that's like we're growing together sexually, and it's really beautiful. And I'm not like having to, I don't know, I feel like going back to figuring people out, having to bring, like you can just, well, I'm not going to go too far with that.
There's a comfort level there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nat.
Just what you said, just listening to you talk about how you enjoy being married, that's just what I desire. I mean, honestly, right now, being single sucks ass. Excuse me, it does. I just want to experience what it's like to have that one person to come home to every day and to have my family and my babies and us building together and growing together and just enjoying life as a whole. And I look forward to that, and I'm still hopeful in that aspect of things moving forward in my life. I really don't know what the benefit. I guess the benefits, like she said, of being single would be just being able to come and go and do as I please. Because that's all I do. I come and go and do as I please. But I look forward to being married one day.
Yeah, I think the marriage part is that you do have multiple streams of income if everybody's working. Because you do have those marriages where somebody ain't working. So from that perspective, you're pulling your resources together. I think that's the biggest benefit of marriage, of pulling your resources together. And knowing that you have somebody in your corner.
Absolutely.
But you can still, I'm seeing couples who are not legally married, but they've been
together
forever, and they're making it work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I personally desire to be married, but I can see how it can work on both aspects. From the standpoint of being single, like you said, I don't have to say, hey, babe, can I spend this money in my account? Or, hey, I'm Gary Go such and such. I just come home and leave and do whatever I please. I don't have to answer to nobody. But on the flip side,
did you spend this amount of money?
You said what?
Did
you spend this amount of money? Or, what are you doing? But, on the flip side, it is always a plus to come home and have somebody laying in their bed next to you versus your pillow just occupying that space until you get somebody there. But anyway, so you have been tuned into Let's Go There with Cassandra. We've had a good discussion, good dialogue. We always wrap up the show with everybody kind of leaving their final thoughts for our listeners and our viewers. So we'll go around the room. I just want you to leave your final thoughts on the topic of marriages today, spiritual covenant or business contract, part 2. So what do you want to leave with our listeners as we close out, Ricky?
I guess that's what I started with at the top. Marriage for me started with it being a God-ordained institution. And that's kind of where my belief system comes from and how I approach it in my point. So I think it's been altered a bit, a lot, into what we're talking about now, business contract versus spiritual thing. But it's always been a spiritual thing for me. Like I said, he pulled her from my side. So woman should be part of me. And that's kind of how that love thing grows. And it's deeper than just a business thing for me.
Okay. Tori, leave with our listeners.
I feel that everybody should strive for